Let's try out my new transporter. It's working pretty good. Trying to get it to beam me up to the moon so I can watch this whole catastrophe unfold from a safe distance. It's come home. Last night, Sonia went out and there was like 20,000 students out there clogging up all the arteries of this Montreal, the main arteries. It's a traffic nightmare. Cops everywhere, helicopters, riot police. Wow. It's been going on for like, what, 2 months now? It's getting bigger and bigger. Heads are getting hotter and hotter. The government isn't budging. Of course, like I said in my last video, they were going to sit down at the table with at least 2 of the 3 groups. One of them, they didn't want to negotiate with them because they didn't denounce the violence. But yeah, when they did sit down, lo and behold, some students got it into their heads to throw bricks into the metro. There was a convention going on at the Palais de Congrès with Jean Charest, our premier shithead of Quebec. And yeah, he was there talking about his plan de Nord, and that's like a Hydro-Quebec corporatocracy scheme to land grab up north, build a dam, displace, a few communities, and it's Inuit land, so it doesn't really matter. The government throws them sops anyways and pushes them off any land that's of value to them at their whim. And they have this tool called eminent domain. Hydro-Quebec does, and Sonia said something interesting in her video the other day about Hydro-Quebec selling electricity at cut rate prices, down in the States, I guess, trying to steal business off the other electric companies down there. But I wondered, what's in it for them if they're practically giving the electricity away to New Hampshire. And I looked into it a little bit, and lo and behold, they're actually engaging in eminent domain. At least they're trying to in New Hampshire. Hydro-Quebec, a Canadian company going down and muscling Americans out of their land. Of course, poor middle class Americans don't have the power to fight them. I kind of get the feeling that Hydro-Quebec is in bed with the United Nations, at least with its watermelon revolution agenda, its green agenda. You go on the Plan de Nord site, and it's all about, like, they're environmentally conscious, oh, everything's just so rosy and beautiful, and the flowers are so sweet. They're not telling you about, like, the mess that this causes, building dams, blocking up big rivers, creating a huge disturbance in the ecosystem, displacing communities. They don't talk about all that on their website. Everything's just rosy and peachy and feel good. The same old UN global warming feel good bullshit. I see that all around North America, like hydro companies like becoming increasingly fascist and promoting themselves as green. Meanwhile, they're, doing the usual mucking up the environment. Anyways, the students here are a little bit more aware than than a lot of us might think. Not everybody's an egghead. The young people these days, they're on the internet a lot, and they're really keying into the New World Order and how we're in the middle of a hostile takeover by the corporations and our spineless panhandling bum politicians. All you gotta do is hand them a bribe and they'll sell us out to the highest bidder, maybe even the lowest bidder. Maybe they'll even pull down their pants and bend over. Anyway, so the media is making it out like this is all about tuition fees, never the cause and effect. They never, tell you the cause of these things, only the effect. When really tuition fees are just the tip of the iceberg, Gone are the days when a student, went through 3 or 4 years at university and then went out looking for a future, a career, Many students after all that education are overqualified. They don't qualify for our slave labor job force anymore. So that's 4 years wasted. Anyways, that's probably just like a minuscule aspect of the problem, but I'm pretty sure most of the problem is not just the tuition fees. It's, how our government is dragging our economy into the ground. And they're becoming very, very much aware that, they're losing their sovereignty. One thing about that is good is that the Shari government is becoming increasingly unpopular, and so they'll probably lose the next election. They'll, as so often happens when there's widespread discontent in Quebec, they vote for the Parti Québécois, which is a separatist party, and often the first thing they do is hold a referendum. I'm the only English guy that I know of that ever voted yes. What, you're voting yes to separate from Canada? Yeah, why not? The Canadian government is nothing but a redundant commie bureaucracy. That's all it is. It's just we're just paying taxes to a bunch of bums in Ottawa that have nothing to do with us but stick their noses in our business. So why not get rid of them? Anyways, Canada is a big, big, diverse country, and it shouldn't be under one government. It absolutely shouldn't. Maybe it should be called Canada in name, but get rid of Ottawa. It's useless. Absolutely useless. It's useless over here in Quebec anyways. We got enough resources. We don't need Canada coming in to steal our resources. And anyways, even if we did separate from Canada, we'd still be stuck with a corrupt Parti Québécois, because they're just as corrupt as anybody else. But at least they'd be an arm's length, so we could go up there to the General Assembly and haul them out of there and hang them by the lampposts. They'd have something to be afraid of. That's the problem with politicians these days. They don't have anything to be afraid of. They hide behind their Ninja Turtle Saturn police. Maybe if we turn the tables and, but I don't think that's going to happen. It's just too consolidated, and it just depends too much on public opinion, and it's only 20,000 students out of a province of 8 million. I'm sure, most people are buying up and lapping up everything the newspapers are saying about this. It is interesting how the students are they're holding these huge demonstrations at night when, you know, there's little, it costs the government little because there's not that much business. Okay, they have to have a lot of cops. Last night, the cops didn't dare make a move because they were totally outnumbered. But you gotta wonder, like, maybe this is a warning shot by the students. Like, if the government doesn't sit down and have an honest talk with them at the table, the bargaining table, that they're gonna up the ante and start bringing in 20,000 protesters to clog up the streets during a business day and halt all the business in downtown Montreal. Ooh, the corporatocracy isn't going to stand for that. Ouch. So the government's like putting out their own little warning shot. Last night, Sonia passed by Place des Arts there, and there was a long line of Sûreté Quebec, which is provincial police Ninja Turtle riot cops again, except they're dressed in green, which is the next step up from federal troops, perhaps martial law. It's been declared here before, on a wink and a nod from Pierre Elliott Trudeau there during our fake FLQ crisis, which was totally engineered IRA style. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see if this thing escalates, because the students are already like edging towards protesting during the day by little pockets of resistance popping up here and there and barricading busy intersections and stopping traffic for now. Later on, they'll do like the French do in France and totally gridlock the entire city, so absolutely no business will go down. But the government's so powerful that they won't back down this time. They usually back down in the past, but now that they've got their New World Order consolidated, I doubt very much they're going to back down. This should be pretty interesting. I know most of you are from like halfway around the world, and what do you care about what's going on in Montreal? But really, the truth is that it doesn't make any difference. When I was reading about last year's student uprising, for the same pretense, tuition fees and tuition hikes in London, it was a very similar thing. The one of the symbols for the university protest is a red square. Red square? Does that remind you of anything? Yeah, I hope this thing's genuine. I'm pretty sure most people are wanting to make a better society, but this is exactly the thing the controlled opposition loves, and they just move in and infiltrate and bring out things like red squares as their symbols to let you know exactly what they're doing. So good luck, Quebec. I hope our students get what they want, but tread cautiously.